Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we have Evil Twin Plunder Patrol. In case you're wondering what synergy is, Evil Twins are kind of decent where they get extra draws and pops depending on their engine, and they do lock you into fiends for the extra deck, but our Plunder Patrols are all fiends, so we don't have to worry about that too much. Plunder Patrols can extend enough even without their normal summon, which is something I like a lot. Unfortunately, they did kill off our live twin, and we had to just resort to Blackbeard Pass since our hand wasn't that great either. We are also up against Evil Twins. I think this is a pure variant, if I'm not mistaken. Once they summon that, I'm going to activate Blackbeard to get a Mork on field. They're going to activate Exceed. I'm going to chain my Mork in order to get rid of that. Get rid of the link, and since the link is no longer on field, Exceed cannot resolve. Now we're going to go ahead and activate Morg again, getting searches and draws. Now we're going to activate Shipyard, and now we're activating Golden Hair. I should have activated my Shipyard before my Golden Hair, just to get a copy of Whitebeard and then go off from there. That might have been a misplay on my part. We're going to go into like salvage and stuff from now. Now we're going to be summoning out our Bluebeard. We're going to activate Blackbeard, summoning another Morg. And then we're going to normal summon our copy of Golden Hair, equip it with our copy of Emblem in order to give it a ton of attack, and we have well over lethal. Plunder Patrols are just super duper great at giving turn 3 ODKs, and they also have a pretty nice turn 1 setup of a couple of nice disruptions. So let's go to our next replay now. Right here we have our Evil Twin people again, but now they've drawn a lot better. So we start off with a Desires. This just gets rid of any hand traps. Next we're going to activate our Ship Shape Shipping in order to get some stuff out. Now we're going to activate our Ship Shape Shipping, equipping a copy of Whitebeard. Now we're going to activate Lys's effect to summon out our Whitebeard. Next we can go ahead summon Golden Hair Link into Blackbeard. Then we'll get summoned for Redbeard. Now this is especially brilliant because now we have an extra negate, and we don't only have Blackbeard, we also have Redbeard for additional interruptions, such as the summon of Lys, where our Blackbeard can summon like a copy of whatever we want. On top of that, we have attribute manipulation with our Plunder Patrol booty. So he's gonna activate that thing. I should have just negated it with Lys in my opinion. But now we're just gonna go ahead, do some stuff, banish his Lila. And now he's gonna summon backup secretary. I'm gonna go ahead, I was going to summon out my Whitebeard, but it seems that didn't resolve. I tried to do some stuff, you know. I already had a list on field, so I didn't really need another list. So I just went into Brawn, also boost all my monsters by some attack. But I think I still have my list's effect to negate alive, so that's pretty nice. So now he's going to go ahead and use Avarice. He's going to attack. My Bluebeard will die. I discard my Plunder Patrol Shipyard because it can just recover itself from the graveyard. We're going to activate Mork again, just putting pressure on that IP, forcing it to go ahead and link itself off. And we're going to go ahead and activate Booty. Unfortunately, I'm not sure why exactly I couldn't actually resolve my Blackbeard to summon another copy of Blackbeard. Not exactly sure about that. But still, we're going to activate Shipyard, switch everything to attack, and once again, it's almost impossible to deal with Plunder Patrols on turn 3 if they've gone first. They just put on so much pressure on your field. So let's go to our last replay now. Right here, this will involve more Evil Twin stuff, so we'll see how that goes. We start off with the terraforming to get Shipyard, just to kind of thin our deck out. Next we'll summon our Lila, go into the Light Link. Light Link will revive the Dark Monster, then we can go into Dark Link. Dark Link will summon the Light Link back, and the Light Link's effect will activate, drawing one card. I think we drew a dead card, I'm not sure, but I think I just discarded that off Shipyard to get a search for something, and then I think I searched a Whitebeard, discarded for White Stingray, summoned itself, then Whitebeard would have summoned the Golden Hair, I think, then we linked into Blackbeard. We're up against Elemental Heroes. They're going to normal summon Prisma. Not sure why. I think negating that Prisma was meh. I think I could have just saved it for something better. I don't know how Dark Magicians work. So we're going to go into a list to get our negate live, and then we will go ahead. He activates Monster Reborn. I chain my Light Link so that we can get the Dark Link in order to pop something. He summons Nightmare Unicorn, so I just decided to negate that, and I also get a search for Whitebeard. Now we're gonna go ahead activate lists to bring back our Blackbeard. Now we're gonna activate Blackbeard summoning a Brawn, and then we're gonna go ahead banish some stuff. I think his thing had a graveyard effect. I just negated that. I don't know how Dark Magician works. I guess once again I had well over lethal right there. You might not have noticed it. It was kind of subtle, but what the Evil Twins really did. The Evil Twins, not only do they put an extra link material on the field for a copy of Blackbeard, it also gives you an extra it basically gives you an extra Trident and an extra draw, which really does help boost the consistency of any Fiend deck really. So those were some duels I have. I'll go more in depth in the deck right now. So right here we have the deck. We start off with 3 copies of Whitebeard. This standard, you always need the Whitebeard. Now this will come as a surprise, but only 2 copies of Redbeard. You can bump this up to 3 if you want. I guess you should bump it up to 3. The main reason why I didn't bump it up to 3 is because sometimes in Plunder Patrols you usually just keep your normal summon for a Redbeard in case you search off something like a Shipyard. But since our normal summon is kind of reserved for our little pop stars right here, we cannot really afford to normal summon a Redbeard, if you get what I mean. Of course, you can always choose to just run the extra copy. I'd say running the extra copy is formidable because you do have tons of consistency in the form of Pot of Desires, Terraforming, Foolish Burial, Shipyard. You have all of those cards just for consistency. So I'd say you can just slip away with the extra copy of Redbeard. 3 copies of Bluebeard. This is not only an extender, which is very important for the deck because you're going to be wasting your normal summon on your live twins. But it also has the graveyard effect to send cards from your hand to the graveyard to generate even more advantage. And those cards sent to the graveyard will generate even more advantage by themselves. So, for example, Whitebeard, when sent from the hand to the graveyard, you get to summon a Plunder Patrol from your deck, which is very nice. 3 copies of Golden Hair. This is also a card you want to see often because of the sheer amount of ways you have to discard cards in this deck. It's also very important because it's an extender, and as I said, since you're using your normal summon on these 2, you really want as many extenders as you can get. Next, our Live Twin Engine. 3 copies of Kissicle and 3 copies of Lila. Both of them basically have the same effect. When it's normal special summon, you summon the other copy from your deck, and then you can go into your Evil Twin plays. 3 copies of White Stingray. I'm running this over stuff like our Mathematician or Genix Undyne, mainly because, as I said, it is an extender and you need all the extenders you can get in this deck. I'm playing this over Silent Angler too, mainly because Silent Angler cannot summon itself from your hand unless you have something else on the field, so I'd say White Stingray is actually the better option right here. Next, for spells, we run 3 copies of Desires. This is really Draw 2, you can't go wrong with that. Draw 2 is just so powerful in this deck, especially because of the sheer amount of hand fodder it needs. 1 copy of Ship Shape Shipping. You only really need 1. Sometimes when going sometimes you just search it off Moark. But Ship Shape Shipping is pretty nice since its graveyard effect especially is the more important one, where it can equip monster, and if you use its effect and then equip like a Whitebeard to your list, then you can summon the Whitebeard off your list, go into link plays, trigger its effect. It's just a pretty nice card to have. 1 copy of Terraforming for your 3 copies of Shipyard. It's probably one of the most important cards in the deck. 1 copy of Foolish Burial to dump your Golden Hair, basically just turning itself into another extender. 2 copies of Salvage, just to get back some cards. 3 copies of Emblem of the Plunder Patrol. You want to see this as often as possible. And one more very important thing about your live twins, they are dark and light, meaning you can, with your Emblem of Plunder Patrol, you can go into even more plays going first, meaning you can go into something like a Moark and a list, which is very, very important. 3 copies of Shipyard. This is just to get your searches off. 3 copies of Imperm. Imperm is just so that you don't auto lose going second. And 3 copies of Plunder Patrol Booty. This is very important. Just going second, giving yourself attribute control, meaning you can summon any of these going second. For extra deck, we run 2 copies of List, 2 copies of Brawn, 2 copies of Moark, and 3 copies of Blackbeard. This is pretty self-explanatory, mainly because you do burn 3 copies of them, so you do need to run at least 2 of each. Not sure why that is in there. I don't remember. I think I put that in an earlier build, but I just forgot to take it out. You can really put in anything in. You can probably put in something like a Dragtide in there. Dragite. yeah, you can just probably put in just this thing right here, just as an extra negate. Also, you can also just choose to put in more stuff, but Drag Die is just an extra spell trap negate because most of your cards here are water. For Life Twins, I'm thinking of just, instead of taking 2/2, I'm thinking of turning it into a 3/1. If I can, yep, 3/1. The reason why for the 3/1 is because you're always going to be linking off your dark monster, because it does turn your light one into a disruption during your opponent's turn. Just the extra pops really do help a lot. So 3 Kiskell and 1 Lila, those are the link ratios. Just very nice because you're almost always going to be linking your Lila and Kiskell into another Kiskell just to get your Lila into the graveyard, meaning you can use Kiskell's effect to summon summon the Lila from your graveyard and destroy a card, and vice versa, where Lila summons your Kiskell and you get a draw card. But that's usually when you're going first, because going second you're always going to be going for the pop. And finally, 1 copy of Almiraj for your golden hair if you have no other normal summons. And that's the deck. It is very consistent. It can put up a ton of disruptions, and I just really like it a lot. It could be viable on a rogue tier. It's very fun to test out with, and it's got tons of bait too, where you can bait out some negates your opponent might have with your Kiskell and your Lila. That does come up pretty often, and getting the extra link material and the extra draw is very, very important, mainly because of the sheer amount of hand advantage this deck needs. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope the deck works out for you too. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell, as it really does help the channel, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.